Hello, my friends. I'm Pastor Siri. I'm a Lutheran pastor and a spiritual seeker. And today I want to talk about truth. Take a listen. One of the big issues we have in humanity is often staking a claim on who has the truth. I come from a Christian background, as you might assume, and oftentimes Christians believe they have the truth. After all, doesn't Jesus say, "I am the way, the truth, the life"? Therefore, people often assume that believing in Jesus, and I'm going to caveat this because this is reality, believing in Jesus, according to my interpretation of the Bible, according to my institutional and denominational background, therefore means I understand and grasp the fullness of the truth, and I'm good to go. I'm going to begin with an analogy. So I'm not a math person, but I did take a lot of math as I had to through high school and into college. I think I took calculus twice. But I'm going to be honest with you, at some point I stopped understanding the relevance of it. At some point I started to struggle with understanding how to do it and even why we were doing it. In my daily life, I can honestly say I've used what would be called like Algebra 1, find the x. Percentages and things like that I have used in my daily life to figure out tips, roundings, these basic things I have used and found value with in my everyday life. But I remember studying trigonometry and even calculus, and it felt like a puzzle, like Sudoku. I was just trying to figure out and put together a puzzle of formulas, and it was kind of an interesting mental exercise, but I didn't really know what the point was. I didn't understand why we were doing it. And people would explain sine and cosine to me and talk about the world, and I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. My brain was tapped out with the relevance and importance at about Algebra 1. Now, there are people on this planet who not only understand way more than even calculus, but they use it. They use it because they're scientists, because they work in a field in which, as engineers and as architects, and as doctors, they need to understand these things, and they see the relevancy in the universe. They see it. And honestly, if they were to sit down with me, I'm not sure that they could explain it to me in a way I would understand. So I understand a little bit of math, but they understand much more. And if you thought about like all the math that must be in the universe, what higher beings must understand, I'm sure humanity understands just the tiniest portion of what is possible. So does that mean I don't understand the truth of math? No, my friends, I understand what I can understand. 2 + 2 = 4, and that's true, and I understand it. I understand that the square root of 16 is 4. I can understand basic things, but there's a fullness to the truth of math in the universe that my brain can't handle. And so we start when you're teaching concepts with what's small, and we slowly add on to it until you can't understand anymore. And there might be a personal level like me that's not going to understand, and there might be a human level that we can't understand past at this point in our evolution. Okay, that is a metaphor for religion and spirituality. The vastness of what is true in this universe is so huge, it would boggle the mind. It would truly be something that would make our brains explode. And we know this because we have had people, mystics and so forth, who've had visions of things that they struggle to comprehend and struggle to relate to other people. And we have people on this planet and throughout history whose job it is every single day to seek spiritually and to seek religiously. They spend hours in meditation and contemplation. They're like the astrophysics of math in religion and spirituality. So clearly they're going to grasp certain things that are mind-blowing to them that they would struggle to relate to the average person that spends, I don't know, an hour a week thinking about God, religion, and spirituality. So we all have different levels of what we can understand about truth in any capacity. And certainly religion and spirituality and the truth of the universe would be one of those things. Meaning to say that when someone like Jesus came into this world to teach us the truth, he was filtering the vastness of God and what is out there into parables and into small things that he felt people could digest and understand. It was like we were given this bowl of soup. Paul uses the example of mother's milk. And then as you mature, you stop drinking mother's milk and you start having, like oatmeal, and then you get onto more solid foods. But would you say that the milk is not nourishing? Of course it is. At some point, you're ready for more. And so that is true of us individually, and that's true of us communally and as a humanity. We're always given spiritual nourishment. We're always given truth, but we're given it in ways that we can understand. And as we're ready for more, we're given more. I say this because sometimes as a humanity, we get huge, massive downloads and upgrades of spiritual information. And there are people who want to keep things black and white, simple. They're like, no, my interpretation of the Bible that has been handed to me by this group of people is the only way of understanding it. And anything else is abandoning the truth of Jesus. Or anyone who doesn't believe in Jesus or the Bible as I see it is outside of the realm of truth. And this is so frustrating because God is so huge and the universe is so huge and the truth of the universe and what God is about is so massive that it's ridiculously arrogant of us to think that we have it figured out and there's nothing left to learn. And that if you have the slightly different interpretation of truth, that somehow you're outside of it. This is where humility comes in again. As I mentioned in the last video with my son who did one yoga class and turned around and said, well, I should be able to teach yoga now. It was such a childish statement. It's laughable. And yet this is how we behave as humans. We go through Sunday school and maybe confirmation, and we think we have the entirety of God and the Bible and Jesus and the universe figured out. And anyone who has new or different information must be wrong and must be a threat. Or that they've abandoned the truth because they see things in more gray and more complexity. What humility we need to have as a human race to realize there's so much more to learn, that maybe we were given mother's milk at a certain time and that we're ready to be upgraded to more and more complex forms of nourishment. And this is no judgment for people who still need to have things simple. We're all in different levels of development. I'm not going to go babysit somebody and laugh at the 1-year-old because they're still trying to pick up Cheerios and eating simple foods and not enjoying sushi. Why would I do that? But at the same time, if you try to deny me the experience of eating various delicious complex foods because it scares you, well, that's just silly and controlling and immature and not okay. What I'm saying is that as truth, in the vastness of truth, there are a few ways in which we can understand if we're on the path to understanding something bigger and truthful and expansive or not. And here's one metaphor for you. As I mentioned that bowl of soup before, imagine you're given that bowl of soup and you're given a spoon. What is the purpose of that? To nourish you. If you're not eating it and you're just staring at it and talking about it, you're not using it correctly. And you're probably not ready for anything else. In the same time, if you're picking up your bowl of soup and throwing it at other people and using your spoon as a weapon against people to tell them how to eat and how to do things, you're not using that. You're misusing the truth of what you were given. You're misusing the nourishment that you were given, and you won't be given any more. Rather, if you've learned how to use that and you understand about helping other people and basic understandings that undergird all things is for nourishment and healing and growth and energy, that's the point of food, right? That's the point of spiritual truth as well, is nourishment and taking it in and implementing and integrating it and growing and healing and gaining energy and learning. Then you're ready for more. So I often think of compassion and openness and empathy as being hallmarks that you're following the path of truth. And that's a beautiful way to look at it, is that if you're ever using what you have against another person, pause, roll it back, you're misusing what you have, and you're not going to be given any more. But when you have learned to integrate what you have, and when you've learned to grow and learn, and you've done that with compassion and mercy and grace and all of those words that are used over and over and over again, not just in the Bible, but in every faith and tradition ever, and all of the mystics come back saying, love, 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 love. That's the marker to know that we're on the right path. And so if you receive a new form of food, or you hear about a new form of food that is growing and nourishing in love and empathy and compassion, it's truth. It's the next level of truth. I'm going to leave that there for you to come to the conclusions that you want. But look out in the world and notice how people are responding to new information, how they even respond to the information that they have, the truth that they claim to have. Are they helping other people? Are they offering what they have as nourishment? Are they nourishing themselves? Are they growing with what they have? If not, they're misusing it and they're not a good teacher, and we can step away from them. Look towards the people that are growing and changing and transforming and healing. Those are people who are digesting and finding good places of truth, regardless of where it comes from. Those are the people we want to collaborate with and learn from. Those are our mentors and our teachers. And there we may find beautiful connections to the basic truths we may have grown up with, just expanded and opened up. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it was something for you to chew on and think about. If you found value in this video, please like, please subscribe, and share it with somebody who you think might benefit from this knowledge and information. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.